Well. Greetings of peace, everybody. How is everybody doing? And being is Dr. LaDonna Sanders and Coasty greeting you on this global wellness check-in. I think I can go ahead and say Happy New Year to you, though we've been in January, and it feels like January has been going on for quite some time. But I believe this is our first time coming on with the Global Cast, the Global Wellness Check-in. And so I want to greet everyone. I want to just take this opportunity to invite you to share this with someone to encourage somebody today. I want to greet all of our Instagram fam, greeting you, and we're going to be coming on Instagram for quite often, I should say, uh, during this season, a little bit more than before. Greeting our LinkedIn fam. How is everybody doing and being? Our Facebook fam, YouTube. Share this all the way around. This is usually called the Global Check-in, and I want to say a big hello to our Rwanda team, South Africa team, to our friends and kin across the diaspora and around the world. If you're tuning in live, why don't you go ahead and type in where in the world you are checking in from, what location, what station, what village, what country, city, town, where are you? Greeting you live from the Global Cast Studio. So good to see Shalina Pert, the LinkedIn lady, is in the building, the virtual building, welcoming you. So glad to see you. It's the Global Wellness Check-in, and some of us are meeting for the first time. And then others of you we've been tracking for a long time. And if you know me at all, I have my heart on the pulse of where the people are. I have a heart for leaders and founders and forerunners and those who are leading and caring for others. And I have a sense that often those who are leading and caring for others often don't create spaces or enjoy spaces where they can be cared for. And so, for quite some time, I've been wanting to bring back our intentional opportunities to focus on you for your refreshment. So, this global wellness check in is really to see how you're doing and being. And some people wonder why I always say that, but really to check in to see how you are. And maybe you can answer or maybe not. But let this space and place be a place where you take a moment to breathe. We'll just be here for a few minutes where you take a moment to just settle yourself right where you are, to relax your shoulders. And as you breathe, to just let some weights go. But anyway, I see Shalina Pert is checking in from the UK. And I'm checking all our other locations, so I can't see everybody. But I know Rwanda is here. So I'm saying, hey, hello. Um, so yeah, I have a question of the day for our Global Wellness Check-in and an awesome announcement for you. But how are you doing and being? How has the new year gone for you so far? Do you this is not the question of the day, but it's so interesting. Let me just tell you directly that we are offering our global online retreats, times of refreshment. I just want to say my very special guest, he checked in and he said he needs to reschedule. So he'll be joining us down the line. But I've invited some of those leaders who and entrepreneurs who have joined us for our online retreats just so they can come on and talk to you about how they have been meaningful for them. But probably all through the last quarter of 2024, through the holidays, I felt this call and this pull to bring back the online retreats. And as many of you know, we host retreats, global retreats in Chicago, in Rwanda, in South Africa, and beyond. But one of the things we discovered is one way that we can provide refreshment for all of our people across the countries is to have these online retreats. And so we will be having our online retreat, and there's space for you coming up on the 25th of January. And I want to personally invite you to that. We'll be sharing some testimonies of folks who've done it in the past, and we'll talk about how we help you to create a space of refreshment right where you are. And in the afternoon, or depending on where you are in the world, in the evening, um, the retreat space is there. This January is so critical because it's how we start off the year. And so, depending on where you are in the world, there definitely, well, you can tell me, but as I check in with the people, there is a sense of stress and tension and um, I would say expectation, but a need to, the scripture says, be still and know. And so in this retreat, we'll be doing different exercises and journaling to help you to center yourself, to get clear about what your goals are and what your intentions are for this year, and really to get clear about how you can live into those goals. So I really want to invite you all to that. Before I get into my question of the day, let me just go ahead and show you the invitation here. And yes, here we go. And our theme is relax, relate, renew. And some people have said, well, how are we going to relax? But in this space and time, we create space for you to be still, and to relax and to release any tensions, any things from the past, so that you can vision and go forward. I want to, let me just remove this here. And we will drop in the comments if you want to register. Yes, I'm seeing the comments. I'm seeing the comments. First of all, I just want to say welcome from the UK, Shalina. Yes, if it's okay, I'm just going to read your comment. It's been very challenging and taxing few weeks, but God, yes. And as I check in, and Shalina, I think you represent many of the founders and the forerunners in our audience, business owners, people who are also parents and caregivers and family members, and really leading. And I really want to stress for you guys, you all, here goes my Missouri accent, but for you all to um, pause, even right now. We're into the weekend. I was on a call with an accountability partner, an amazing woman entrepreneur, and she is doing so many incredible things, but I had to invite her. And if you work with me, I will challenge you um, to pick the day that is her day. And I could see the pull of that. But we have to have space to breathe, to be still, even space to work out the things that revitalize you. And I don't know about you, but I find in my daily schedule, the one thing this January, I can go all day and I'll be like, okay, I'll work out at this time. I'll work out at this time. And by that time, the day is over. And I want to just tell you that in the season that we're in, it's paramount that you take care of yourself. I want to be the one to come on. I want to, I think on the TV, it used to say, we interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this message. And I really believe today, even when my special guest said he couldn't come, I said, that's okay. He'll be back. But I wanted to be the one to come on this Friday, January 17th, and say to you, take a pause, even take 30 minutes and breathe and decide in these next days, how am I going to take care of myself? And it's a countercultural question because I remember I used to ask this question when I was speaking and hundreds of people, and people would say, well, you're telling us to focus on ourselves, but we need to focus on community. And what about community care? But in the times we're living in and the roles that we have, I'm coming on to tell you, and as I tell you, and watch this, to tell me, you have to take care of yourself. And I'm not saying take care of yourself above others, but I don't know if you notice, like the environment that we're in, we can be irritable, all these things. And so we have to center ourselves. But anyway, my question of the day today on this wellness check-in is simply, how will you take care of yourself? What time will you schedule with yourself this weekend, next week, in your weekly routine? And when you join us for the online retreat, we take time out to walk with you, to think that through, to see how to ritualize time to process. And I'll give you one example this year. And as I moved into this year, I knew for me, January is a big month where I just am still the whole month. And again, it's countercultural, but I really listen for God as to how the year is going to be and how to prepare. And so it's the 17th. So for the past 2 weeks, one of the challenges I've had in my morning routine is to have 3 20-minute sessions of journaling. And it was an odd thing. Usually I just wake up in the morning, I journal, and then I go on to the next thing. But the instruction I received was 3 20-minute sessions. And I love that because in the first 20 minutes or so, I just pour out whatever's there. But somewhere in those other 20 minutes, I'll bring up things that are bothering me. Or we all know, for example, here in the US, we have the fires. There's just so many things. And we're all on social media, but when do you have time to process, what does this mean for you? And how can you be of help? So I'm just simply asking you to think about plan. We're also great with our phones and scheduling and Calendly and this and that. Set an appointment and a time with yourself to be still and know. And I'm going to invite you, if you want to add in the comments what you want to do, that's fine. But I really encourage you to make the time, make the space for you and do that. And as you do that, it will help others around you to do that, whether that be your family, whether that be your team members, or one of my words for 2025 is to show up. I want to show up as a whole person and show up as who I really am, my authentic self. And the way I do that has to do with the space and the time and the investment I put in to my spiritual practice, to journaling, to taking care of myself, to working out, which I'm not going to put off today. And so when we get off of here, I'm going to go work out. But that's my question of the day. And it's the beginning of the year, so it's a great time to set that. And when you join us for our online retreat, we help you to set up your process. And we also create a space where you can decompress, de-stress, re-envision, envision, dream, plan. It's just an amazing time. And I'm excited For some of those who have joined us to come on and talk to us about it, I'll also be posting today and tomorrow some of the testimonies. But I wanted to come on today for you to receive an invitation from me. When I first did these online retreats, I was known for hosting in person retreats. And yes, there's the flyer: Relax, Relate, Renew. And it's January. Now we only have a space available for Saturday, January 25th. And the links are in all of our bios on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and on Facebook, or you can send us a DM and we will be happy to send you your invitation. But I'm going to encourage you to invest in yourself in the new year. One story I will tell: I was in Chicago. I was in my first pastorate. And it was such an amazing experience. At the same time, everywhere I went, people would talk about this retreat house in Wisconsin. And so, as it was, I ended up going on a retreat at this retreat house called the Sanctuary. And many of you will probably know of the Sanctuary. And so this was in Wisconsin, and I was not the type to drive 3 hours both ways anywhere on the weekend. I was a pastor, but somehow I did. And when I would drive, the seasons would change. I would actually look at the fall leaves. I would look at the snow. Like, in my busy life, I just did not have time for that. But somehow that drive to this retreat, it was a way for me to process what went on in the week, and it was an amazing experience. So I signed up for this class, and it was once a month for the year. And so I was going, and it was like, I was very busy. People were like, how do you have time to do this? But for me, that was an investment, really, in my future. I believe it was an investment in my health and wellness. And I was able to show up as a better person when I was back home or back in the city with people. So I want you to think of these online retreats, and certainly we welcome you to join us for an in-person retreat, but think of this as a part of your wellness investment in you. And the way we create the retreats, it's set up so that you can address what you need to address. And we will be hosting these in January, also in February. I would like to say in March, but we're receiving so many different invitations. So I want to welcome you to join me next Saturday for that. Well, I am checking our comments, and I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I want to say I'm going to be back over the next series of days with the Wellness Check-in. So join us. Look out for the invitations, and I can't wait for my special guest to join us as well, and you'll be able to hear from him. Well, if you have any questions, I do have time for questions. The thing about the StreamYard, I see our friends. Okay, South Africa is here as well. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments, and certainly we will go back. I can see many of your comments here, or you can also send us a direct message. Yes. But let me encourage you today. That's what I have for you today. If you're joining for the replay, you can type replay. But if you are live, we are going into a weekend. So I think there's no reason why you and even me could set the intention to set up a time this weekend for you to be with yourself. You can be with others that give you joy. But with it being January, I'm going to invite you to take some time with yourself to breathe and get clear on what are you going to schedule in for your wellness and your wholeness and your refreshments. And I'm inclined to say amen. And, I'm laughing, but we're living in a very serious time. I want to encourage those who pray to pray for our nations, to pray for these nations. And I do know that much of the angst that people feel is beyond them, and it's about even what's happening in the nations. And so it's important that we take care of ourselves, that we take care of one another. And I just come on and encourage you today. I wanted to be short today. I could stay on here, but if you have any questions, let me go over to Instagram. Also, join me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing more lives. And also, I'm super excited. We're going to be offering some great offerings for you all. So, again, I hope that you will make plans to join us. You can get your ticket to our online refresh retreat, Relax, Relate, Renew on our Stand store, Dr. LaDonna Global, which you can find at all of our bios on our social pages. And before I check out, let me just invite you again to Relax, Relate, Renew. Listen, what I want to say is you can host one of these retreats for your community, for your work team. How we came about doing this retreat recently is I was doing lunch and learns for companies, and it became very apparent that online retreats were needed once again. So I want to let you know that we'll be hosting them, but you can also reach out and set one up for your company, your team, your family, your kin, your friends, your entrepreneur business buddies and besties. And let's make sure we take care of one another. We take care of ourselves, take care of one another, and build one another up. Well, this is Dr. LaDonna, and we are 22 minutes in. I want to honor your time, but look out for our Global Cast Global Wellness Check-in. Also, in January and February, we'll be having some amazing guests. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as well. I want to say God loves you. I want to say take good care. And as I'm on here, I want to say happy Dr. King weekends and Dr. King's birthday. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. All right. Thank you for joining.